girls. Welcome to Act 3, Scene 2. This is the scene where Hope tries to prove how tough she is by going into a bar without Jordan. And it is the beginning of their some friction between them, but also a moment in the show where Hope and Jordan have a moment of intimacy. Intimacy. So this is going to be kind of a tricky scene. Um, Couple of things. Let me get our the thing I want to share with you up. Okay. Okay. Here we go. A couple of things have to happen. Um, uh, as the last scene ends and there's a blackout and people start moving, Hope needs to. Oops. Sorry. Hope needs to move down to this area, as does Jordan, and then eventually addiction will also there, but she can take a more cheapest creepers. I wish it wouldn't that wouldn't happen. Addiction can take a more direct route, as can anxiety, as can, I'm sorry, as can anxiety. Anxiety. There's as you know, there is a set of stairs over here, also over here, that kind of scrunches these in. We can also, these are stairs actually. Yes. And these can be, need to be used uh, uh, with um, get around that bar and to get hope and anxiety and server and everything else in one space. Let me get a server tag here for a second. Insert server. Server. Okay. Server can be like not on stage immediately. And Hope and Jordan, it says in the script that Hope is sitting on a chair reading a magazine. And let's have Hope not sitting in a chair, but rather pacing or wringing her wrist or something. By the way, we can get rid of this at the we can get rid of this at the as the scene changes because we don't need that anymore. This will free up some more space for us. So anyway, Jordan will, of course, move from the apartment to kind of off stage, and Hope will be pacing back and forth, and the lights come up, and then Jordan will come down and say, "Hey, Hope, what's that? What's up?" And then Hope will go, "Hey, it's okay," with great anxiety because she's determined to go into this bar to prove how tough she is. And then it comes to, "Are you fine?" And then he'll come over, and then, "Are you fine?" "No, I'm not fine. This is Z's thing." And then they begin drifting toward the bar. And then Jordan starts with just a click away stuff and blah 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 blah. So Jordan and then Hope goes over to the bar. Uh, so after Hope shows Jordan her phone, she goes into the bar and Jordan goes away. Okay. The server comes out when Hope gets there, or the server could be doing whatever. It could be cleaning the bar or whatever, and then starts the conversation on page 64 about Hope dying. We're going to need a phone ring in here. Actually, we're going to need a couple, uh, um, and then from here, addiction, who's probably maybe kind of sort of going to be on the over here, either that or sitting on the steps or something, starts creeping in and talking about how keeping in and showing and talking about how, oh, just one drink for Z. And then, of course, addiction saying, get the hell away from me. But Hope really is saying half-heartedly, get the hell away from me. But she really wants, but she's really tempted. And, and then she starts saying, well, to a one-time deal, when Hope says like to a one-time deal, and addiction starts going, oh yeah, just a one-time deal. We're pals. I wouldn't steer you wrong. That's to prove how strong you are. And then the server comes back. She was going to get the phone. Then she comes back with a free drink, and addiction keeps egging her on and egging her on. And the phone rings again, and the server leaves. Okay. Uh, Then Hope goes, okay, Jordan's only one call away. And then she said, and then she's so freaked out by this whole thing. She's just about to give in. And texts, she texts Jordan or calls him or some kind of signal, prearranged signal they have. And he comes running to the rescue, or she comes running to the rescue. And then comes the big exchange about how, what they talked about at meetings and everything else. And Jordan, Hope, I know it's hard. I see you. Then it goes on, and then when Jordan says change of scenery, both he and Hope leave the bar. And Hope goes into this whole thing about correction. When Hope says change of scenery, they go up to the apartment by the most expeditious way possible. And I'm a little torn on that because I think that this could also be God, I hate it when this thing does that. This could also be a walk of shame moment. She goes up. Yeah, let's do that. She goes up, walks across the stage. They're in like anxiety-filled silence, you know, anxiety-filled silence, and they get to the apartment. Hope should be all kind of huddled over, to be kind of huddled over. The fuck's with this thing? Excuse me. All kinds of huddled over. Then they have their big dramatic moment about how Hope is so disappointed in themselves. Remember, Hope and these guys are going to go up and around instead of straight the most expeditious way possible. And this time, anxiety can be the most expeditious way possible. She's there, as is anxiety. So they go through this. And what happens here is two things. Anxiety is not really worried, that anxious about them failing. Being sober, anxiety is also worried about them, the possibility that Hope is falling in love with Jordan, and that anxiety is never really stated, but it's felt or implied or something like that. So anyway, when Hope begins her and when Hope begins her hyperventilation thing, that is actually, in essence, them as a form of intimacy. And I want to say making love, but it's not exactly that. But you know what I mean. Um, when then these guys are kind of anxiety is more involved in this, but then when Hope says anxiety is involved in this whole thing, like I'll never. When Hope says, "I'll never stop fighting," and anxiety gets closer and closer to Hope, and she does her thing. And she starts hyperventilating, and Jordan's breathe, stop, breathe, stop, breathe, stop. Hope and Jordan, anxiety backs off. This is a moment of just intimacy between the two of them. Hope and Jordan go through the breathe deep, fill your abdomen with air, 1, 2, 3, and what they're actually doing is making love. And so when Hope gets to, I feel like I've been through a war, addiction starts sees all this love making going on, all this intimacy, and says, "Well, that's bullshit. We're not doing that. Not in my watch." Fuck this thing. And she starts going over there and sticking her nose in. She starts going over there and sticking her nose in it. And she starts planting the seed. Oh, baby, you need a drink. Oh, go get a drink. Uh, need. And it's actually addiction starts planting seeds. Like, need. Drink. It felt so great to be drunk. And then remember how fun and freeing it was? For the first time, you can relax and be yourself. Don't you want to be yourself again? It starts doing that to Hope. So, Jordan, uh, 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 um, um, so Jordan, so when Hope says, "You really came up big for me tonight," addiction reattaches the leash, and Jordan says, "You would have done the same for me." The lights fade, and Jordan gives it, and the mini speech plays, and uh, um, um, we start getting and the mini speech plays in the background, and they move to somewhere, and that's it for now because it has to be another place where Hope lives, not this apartment. So I need to think about this. That's kind of where we are right now. So I think that's that for the minute. Um, 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 stop the recording. Stop.